What would you do if you heard gunshots inside your place of worship? How would you escape if you were wheelchair-bound and no one was coming to save you? Could you forgive a terrorist? The man who shot your wife? On March 15, 2019, New Zealand experienced its darkest day. 51 people were killed in a terrorist attack in Christchurch. It changed the nation and reshaped the country's gun laws and the way it relates to the Muslim community. On this episode of The News and You, I speak with Farid Ahmid, the man who famously forgave the gunman. Farid is a Muslim imam known as a teacher and later went on to win an International Peace Prize. I'm Eleisha Foon, journalist, storyteller, and I've learned everyone you walk past has a story, and that story could change your life. So let's crack it open to discover the news in you.
I grew up in a village in Bangladesh, and it was a lifestyle block. So my father used to be a village judge, and he had a private court. For the sake of the community, he always tried very, very hard to keep peace in the area, to keep the crime down in the area. So basically, I was inspired by his work, and I used to watch him very closely. Even if there was a day with a case, I used to skip my school just to be there to listen and to have some experience how he was doing things. So I learned a lot through that, had plenty of things to do in the farm. We were middle class. We managed to grow things of our own, and our neighbors were always welcome to come and take things, whatever they needed. My parents were very, very generous.
Farid was a gifted A+ student who climbed the ranks at school and soon enough became a prominent student leader. Outspoken and charismatic, rising as an influential political figure, but this in turn put a target on his back.
My sensitivity towards injustice was very acute in me. It was very dominant. Whenever I saw someone was oppressed, or a young boy or young girl was not getting his or her right, I used to stand up. So my neighbors, my family, sometimes they used to tell me that I was not clever enough, meaning why did I get involved with the problem? Why did not I run away like everyone else? But my heart was there. I could not run away because I always felt I had to do something, and I was in a position to do something, and that's how I grew up. And then I became a natural student leader in primary, high school, and I got into a lot of troubles because I had to protest against the wrong things. So that's how it went, and then I went to the politics to study mechanical engineering in Bangladeshi student politics. It's not like Western countries. There you have an idea, and your ideas are not always democratically appreciated. So sometimes if it goes against someone or a group, they will try to remove you. So I was attempted to be killed twice in my student in my student life and student politics. So my popularity became a curse. So the new military government, they picked me up and they called me and told me to help them because they were going to form political parties. So they gave me two choices, either to help them or to find the consequences. So I could not help them because it was against my principle. All my life, I worked for fairness, and I could not support them because they were practicing tyranny, undemocratic. So I could not take that action, to support them. And as a result, I was suffering in so many ways. And then finally, it was my mama who never allowed me to go to overseas. She said to me, "Get out. I cannot sleep if you are here, so get out somewhere." Basically, I left everything. I had all the opportunities to do business, to get jobs, to do humanitarian services. I had all the opportunities, good family, good reputation, good supporters, good opportunity for leadership. So I summarize it, I had everything but nothing. So I managed to leave the country, came to New Zealand, and New Zealand embraced me. They took me, and I'm very thankful for that.
After finding work in New Zealand, Farid felt it was time to soon be married and decided an arranged marriage would be the way to go. That's when he remembered Husna, a young woman from his village who was resilient, confident, a good sports person, and a strong leader. But most importantly, she carried the same value set as Farid. As he pondered on Husna, he had to find out. He needed to know, was she still single, and would she be willing to leave Bangladesh behind and create a new life with him in New Zealand?
I was looking at somebody who struggled like me, who was humanitarian like me, and same ambition, and we could become a good team rather than with two different philosophies. My father, my mom recommended few. I talked to them. It was not clicking. And then it came to my mind that I heard about her if she is still there. In our culture, the popular girls, they get married quickly. So I thought she was gone. So I wrote a very long letter, about 26 pages to my father. My father was very strict, and we are 6 siblings. No one had courage to talk to him about marriage. It was a taboo. So I had to convince him, it was okay. A son can ask the father because father is the best friend, and if I had done anything, wrong, the father could correct me. So I put all the buttering things and spices to convince him to go and check whether Husna was available. Just to get second thoughts, I asked few friends there. I was in Auckland then. Hey, come and read my letter. I am trying to convince my dad. So when they read it, they started crying. And one of them, his name was Rashid, and he said he was emotional. He said to me, after reading this, if your father and mother is not going to agree with you, I don't care about them. So he was so convinced that it was a very good long letter. So it worked. My father came on telephone and he was so nice. I never expected that. He said, my son, I read all about you. I'm going to check. And then if I like her, I will propose her on your behalf. So he went. And then, he went, met her, and he did more than what I suggested. He asked me that, she's an orphan. I said, yeah, I do. Because Husna, by then, she had no mother. She lost her mom when she was 8 months old. And she lost her father when she was around 11. So he asked me that, our society, some rich people may tell you that she's not rich enough. She had no father. Do you understand this sort of thing? I said, I understand very well. Just tell me. What did you see in her? Is she a good person? He said, yes. I said, that's all I need. I was thinking of going there, but then I was sick. So I asked my father that, could you go and ask her and her family if they are happy to send her here? My dad said, you must be crazy. I can't say that. How do you expect that, from Bangladeshi culture, a family will agree that they will send her daughter here? It is impossible. No, I cannot do. You are crazy. I said, Dad, just go and tell them that my son is crazy and he is crazy for Husna. You don't take any responsibility. Put everything on me and see the reaction. If they do not consider, okay, I'll accept. Finally, he went. Her older sister, she was hesitating, but Husna said, I want to go. That's it. She was the boss. She was very brave.
Farid spent 4 wonderful years walking and talking with his wife Husna before he was tragically paralysed in an accident where he was hit by a speeding car and thrown to the side of the road. He had a 7% chance of survival and managed to live through the accident, which left him paralysed and reliant on a wheelchair. Husna became Farid's full-time carer from 1998 when the accident took place. The couple moved to Christchurch in the South Island of New Zealand shortly after, and in 2004 had their daughter Shifa. Fast forward to March 15, 2019, the day that would alter their lives forever. March 15 started off like any other Friday, except 2 mosques in Christchurch, which would soon be targeted by an Australian man who had been plotting for months to target mosques in the South Island of New Zealand. Before live streaming the horrific attack online, Farid and Husna were getting ready for Friday prayers. Their laughter filled the room, and they basked in the joy of poking fun at one another. They were best friends.
We arrived in the mosque, parked my car there, and so she came and she held my wheelchair to make sure I was secured. And then she went towards the women's room, and then she entered the women's room through another door. So that was our last time that we spent together. So we were in 2 different rooms. I heard the sound. Quickly, all the able people ran out. And then with the sound, I saw everybody from that room, they ran out. And from the main room, I also saw people were pushing one another and they were coming out. That gave me the idea that something terrible was going to happen. And just in few seconds, I found myself completely alone. And as far as I knew that the only one person on wheelchair was me. I looked at the exits. It was cramped with people. They're pushing one another to get out as soon as possible. So I thought, that's it. And I was, thinking about Husna, what would happen to her if the gunman goes into the ladies' room. Momentarily, I felt that, it was the day for me. I would die and probably I would not see Husna or any other people. I was quite concerned about the children and other women because they would be more vulnerable. Men, they could, run around and maybe they could do something. But 1 minute goes, 2 minutes goes. No gunman came to that room, and then I saw that the exit door, one of the exit door was empty. So I thought that now I should make a move to get out, and it was, to go towards my car, behind the mosque. So I managed to go out. I still remember I was pushing very gently. I was very calm, and I was thinking that what's the point of pushing too hard, because definitely I'm going to receive a bullet at the back of my head. So what's the point of rushing? But if I do not move myself and if I stayed there, it would be like a suicide. I could not do that. I was very much useless and helpless in that day. If I had been walking, maybe I could do something to help people. So I managed to go out. I was waiting behind my car, and I was hoping that at some stage she will come this way, we can be together. But that did not happen. The time seemed to me was like months and years. And I was hearing the bullet sound, and every sound I heard, I thought, one more life is gone. I was feeling that I would have a heart attack. I was feeling that my head, the veins would burst, everything inside me. In those few minutes, I thought that I could not manage. It was too much. It was too much. I went inside with huge anticipation. What if I go and find her dead body? My mind was racing and I was going to be crazy. I struggled to control myself. So at first I went to the woman room, knocked at the door. I was very scared, very fearful. No answer. I opened the door and I saw no one there. That means maybe all of them escaped. So maybe Husna is still alive. And then I turned around and went to the room I usually go to and pray there. In that corner, the majority dead bodies were in that corner. Someone broke that window, and many of them, they were trying to go out through that window, broken window, but before they could do, the gunman shot them. So there were piles. So I saw dead body piles here, there, but I found 5 people. They were still alive. So I went to each one of them, and my emotion by then became numb. I just became like a stone, and I told myself, you cannot cry now. These people need consolation. These people need some strength, some positivity, some hope. So Farid, you cannot cry. They asked me, is ambulance coming? I said, very close. I did not know. But I had to lie to them to give them some light of hope. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. They are on their way. Everything is going to be okay. Then suddenly, 2 special police came into that room and they saw me talking to that injured person. He was lying on the floor and another one was beside him. One of them asked me to tie up his leg because the leg was bleeding heavily and he was feeling excruciating pain. So he asked me to take his belt off from his waist and then use it to tie it down. But I said, no, I have a scarf. I will use this one without destabilizing your body. When I was going to do that, then police came and they were very scared about my safety. One of them said that there could be bomb. Why are you doing here and how did you manage to come in? I saw their panic and they were very caring. I understand totally. So I, at that time, became a comforter. I was smiling and I was saying to them, whatever happen will happen. Calm down, don't worry. Don't worry, let me talk to this person more. No, we have to take you out. So they pushed me out and then there was, police barricade. So I was outside the police barricade. I thought she escaped, she was alive because I did not see any casualties, any dead body or injured children or ladies in a men's room.
Farid was interviewed by journalists outside the mosque. As he waited outside in his wheelchair, sirens blasted while police cordoned off the area on Deans Avenue. He was desperate to know whether Husna had survived. Husna helped almost every woman and child escape Noor Mosque as it was under attack. She went back at least 2 to 3 times to make sure everyone in the room she was in escaped, and entered a final time in search for Farid, her selflessness and love for her husband enduring till the very end, before she was shot down by the gunman. Shortly after being interviewed by reporters, he received the dreaded news that she had not survived the attack. He was told to go home and grieve.
I just felt that the sky was dropping on me and the earth was giving up. And I felt like the earth is going to swallow me. I was sinking very fast. And then suddenly I thought, what am I doing? I have a daughter.
I moved to Christchurch shortly after the mosque attacks and spent 2 years covering the aftermath and the sentencing of the terrorist. Farid was one of many survivors I spoke with and have journeyed with till this day. Despite all odds, he chose to forgive the man who killed his wife and 50 members of his community.
My forgiveness was specifically for one person who killed my wife.
The terrorist attack sent shockwaves across New Zealand and the world. While the Muslim community grieved, during a national remembrance service, Farid boldly declared his forgiveness toward the man who killed his wife.
I have chosen peace, I have chosen love, and I have forgiven.
An act that eventually led to him receiving an International Peace Prize. Farid says in spite of everything he and his community has faced, he is a living testament of what it looks like to believe the best in humanity.
But over the years, this message has been widened. The message of forgiveness everywhere with everyone, because this is a universal message. The world has kindness. People are kind. Majority are kind. They want a life with peace. They want to get on with one another. They are very loving. Parents, they love their children every day. Children, they love their parents every day. So this is the real world. But sometimes we see in the television box that, killing there and killing there. We think, oh, the world is gone. But actually it is opposite. And I acknowledge all the people who have supported the forgiveness that I had given, and they gave me more strength.
New Zealanders rallied around the victims of the mosque attacks and Muslims around the country who felt targeted and unsafe. Jacinda Ardern's words echoing, "We are one," a powerful statement redefining the way New Zealanders related to each other. Farid says the best way to honour his late wife is to learn the lesson from the hate expressed on March 15 and to work hard to turn that hate into love, unity, and the pursuit of peace, not only in New Zealand, but across the world.
The big world is out there, and the big world has people with big hearts, bigger hearts than me. We have different ways to see the world and the world problems, but compassionate way is the best way. Some people may think, oh, compassionate and kindness is the weakness. It is strength. Forgiveness, it is real power. Controlling one's anger and controlling one's greed and hatred is the hardest work. Showing anger and retaliating is easy. Controlling oneself and turning the tragedy into the vehicle of peace is not a simple job. It requires love for human, very unselfish love. It requires wisdom to see the far-reaching benefits. I can see through my little bit of life experience that every time I forgave, it was better for me, for my peace of heart. We must practice compassion. Not only the sympathy. You may ask, what do I mean by compassion? The compassion is, I feel for your pain and I do whatever I can do to remove your pain. And this is called true human love.
Farid is now a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit for services to interfaith communities and has gone on to become a global voice of peace. In honour of his wife's memory, he released a book called Husna's Story. He says all royalties from the book have been donated to St. John's Ambulance Service, the first responders during the mosque attacks. Thank you for listening to The News and You. To support the podcast and keep it going, please sign up to the Patreon. If this story has impacted you in any way, would you consider sharing the love by giving The News and You a rating and review? I'd love to know, what are your key takeaways? I encourage you to share this with someone because there's power in our stories. So why not send it to them right now? Until next time, remember, your story matters and there's a shared truth behind everything.